What's up, everybody? It's Bear with BearIndependent.com, and today we're talking about water. Why? Because we're out here working, doing the things. Let's see if I can do this. And it's pretty warm. It's about it's 90 some degrees and way humid. And so a lot of y'all in your bug out bags and your systems are neglecting water or barely addressing water. And that's why I wanted to have this little conversation.
Y'all need water over here?
Yeah, can you bring another case over here, please?
I got two right here. You want both?
One case is fine. Thank you. See? Water delivery. So typically, for a regular healthy adult, you take your body weight and you half it, and that's the minimum ounces of water you need per day. So for a 200-pound male, you're talking 100 ounces of water, or about 3 liters. Yesterday, when we cut all of this timber down, these trees down that came down, and hopefully you've seen that video already. I believe it's titled 3 Big Pines. You can find that footage here on YouTube. Yesterday, I consumed 2.5 gallons, or roughly 10 liters of water in 6 hours. To do the math on that, that's 21-ish pounds of water. Water's 8.35 pounds per gallon. 2 gallons would be, what, 16, just over 16 and a half. And then another half a gallon, 20.7-ish pounds of water. Imagine if you had to carry that. And so with water, you need a large carrying capacity of water in your bug out bag, more than you probably think. In my bug out bag, my rucksack, I have a 3-liter bladder. I have 2 1-liter smart water bottles. That's 5. I have a steel 1-liter bottle. That's 6. And I've got a canteen and canteen cup, 1-quart canteen. So 7-ish liters of water, just short of 2 gallons of water, which would not have been adequate yesterday, which is why when you have the opportunity to refill your water, you should. When you stop to fill your water, you should also fill yourself. Every time you get water, you should drink as much water as you possibly can. Geez, here comes another load of brush. These guys are swamping me with the side-by-sides, pulling loads of brush over here for us to process and burn. And so with this water scenario, not only for your bug out bag, right? And like I said, you need more than you think you do. And so if you've only got 3 liters in your day pack, yeah, that's fine for a little hike, 3-hour hike or something. And you're still gonna need more. You're gonna need to refill water all the time. And so this gets into your filtration, your treatment, your ability to boil. And this is addressed in every prepper book, on every good prepper book on the face of the earth. But you need to onboard this concept and probably go do it. Also, where I see a major fail is a lot of people, a lot of y'all are stocking long-term food, and you should be. Your 4 grains, corn, rice, wheat, beans, and your 7 meals plan, and absolutely good on you for doing that. But, water storage. And water storage is a pain in the butt. Most prepper books and most, survivalist books will say you need at a minimum a gallon of water a day. Well, we just covered yesterday, I had 2.5 gallons. Thus far today, in about the last 4.5, 5 hours, I've had 2 gallons of water today, and I will continue to drink water. By the way, your urine, your pee, is a great indicator. If you're not peeing at all, you're not drinking enough water. If it's dark colored, you're not drinking enough water. It should be about this color when it comes out, maybe a pale straw color. Oh, Bear's talking about pee. You're welcome. But Dixon's over here talking to Dudley. By the way, Dixon has a Patreon page, Under the Chute. You should check that out. He's got a big parachute where he basically does cigar pairings. I think his next one is the cigar you smoke when your wife is mad at you. You should, yeah. Very entertaining. So if you're into that, go check that out. And sorry, it's real life around here. I have been accused of in the past, and I wear it as a badge of honor, the best information with the worst production quality, for sure. It's because we're out here actually doing the things. That's why we can speak to it with some authority, not just something that I read in a book one time. So yesterday, 2.5 gallons of water. Today, 2 gallons of water, just for drinking, not for bathing, not for food preparation, which is why that 1 gallon per day is a bad number, because most of our food requires, our long-term storage food, whether it's freeze-dried or dehydrated or, dry grains, requires water to either reconstitute or cook. Where's that water gonna come from if you're only storing 1 gallon per day? Additionally, think of the heat injuries that could have been sustained yesterday and almost were sustained yesterday because of a lack of hydration. I mean, we as a crew, and we had probably 8 people out here yesterday working, we went through case upon case upon case of bottled water. My Berkey was working overtime inside the house. We had, my oldest daughter was actually on hydration. That was her job, to make sure that everybody stayed hydrated, ice water and electrolytes and so forth and so on. And so if you only store 1 gallon a day, how are you gonna cook your food? And if you're operating at a deficit, now think about your performance. Remember concept of the bug out bag. We're getting from where things are bad to where things are less bad and or good. Now what happens? I can only make so much time because I'm not operating at peak performance because I'm dehydrated. And that's a real thing. If you don't think that dehydration is a big issue, lack of access to clean water and or dehydration, but primarily lack of access to clean water, is the #1 killer around the world right now, which is why you gotta have a plan for water. You also have to, again, have a plan for long-term water storage. And I recommend 5 gallons at a minimum per person per day. So for a family of 5, that's 25 gallons a day. And that's your cooking, your basic sanitation, and your food preparation. And in addition to that, now you extrapolate that 25 times 30 days in a month, you're at 750 gallons, or a whole bunch of 55-gallon drums, right? Or 3-ish, 4-ish IBC totes. And so I recommend have a month's worth of water put up, even if you're on a well like we are. We've got 3 wells, and you got solar backup on your well. Even if you've got creeks, we've got 3 quick creeks. Even if you have springs, we have 2 springs. Even if you have a pond, we have a pond. Even if you're on rural water, we also have rural water. We are putting in rain catchment this year for specifically that reason, to be able to carry that capacity of water, to have our IBC totes full of fresh, potable water whenever we need it. Once you get past a month, you're talking something like a cistern or a very large underground tank, and it gets pretty cost prohibitive and it's a lot of work. If you have the ability to do so, you should put in a large cistern or a large underground tank, most of us don't. But IBC totes, intermediate bulk containers, are a good way to go about that. They're relatively inexpensive. They can be had for anywhere between free, if you find the right place, and 50 to 75 bucks, I think, is the highest I've heard of them lately. But you need some type of long-term water storage, even if you have access to water all around you, as we do. Because think of the calories you're going to expend by taking questionable water, creek water that'll have livestock runoff or trace chemicals from monocropping or something like that, or giardia or whatever, right? You've got to process that. It's calories out, man. And so my challenge to you is to take inventory of where you are with water. Do the basic math, take your body weight and divide it by 2. That's your minimum number of ounces per day. And then I would actually double that. So I would just start with your body weight, and that's the number of ounces you need to have per day for strenuous activity. It's hot out here. We are all working and we're all staying hydrated. If we don't, we could frankly become casualties. And if we don't, we won't get near as much done because everybody's gonna be dragging ass. So water, don't neglect it. Not only in your bug out bags, your get home bags, in your vehicles, but also in your systems for long-term prosperity when the balloon goes up. Bless y'all. Appreciate y'all, Bear Nation. Shalom.